So you're probably wondering, like, Mike, you skipped over Run DMC. You skipped over Run DMC's debut album. You skipped over The King of Rock. Now, I'm like age probably 10 around the time that these albums are coming out. So it's like, yeah, I heard the songs, I like It's Like That. I heard it blazing on the radio and whatnot. And Rockbox was actually Rockbox in the neighborhood. We used to all pop locking, have pop locking and breaking contests to the Rockbox record. So I had these records that I had them taped from my radio, but they, at the time, at the age of 10, I'm not really all into this like this. So it's like, what can I say? I listen to the album now as for nostalgic purposes and like, whoa, that was really some tough stuff that they did, and it was crazy. So yeah, the Run DMC, their first album was really, really crazy. Like the beats just booming. Like, the history is that Russell Simmons wanted to just strip down rap because the Sugar Hill records were basically R&B records produced by an R&B artist, and Sylvia Robinson, who used to write R&B records, and she was an R&B performer herself. So she produced all of these records with her in-house band. So they were basically R&B records. So he said with Run DMC, and then we want to just take the records and just strip it down to a beat, a kick, and a snare, and boom, have them rhyming. So that's what basically the first Run DMC album was. That's what It's Like That is. Rockbox is a little different. Rockbox has like guitar and everything on it, but it's still, when they break it down, it's and then the guitar comes in and all of that. So it's still kind of stripped down. So that album was really crazy, but it didn't have that much of an influence back on me because I was about 10 or 11 at the time. And, my mom wasn't buying it. We on welfare, living in the Howland homes in the project. So there wasn't money to go out and buy albums. The only way I got to listen to it was basically through the radio. And other neighborhood kids playing the tape out in the yard, and we're battling, pop locking and breaking and whatever else in the neighborhood. So, but now, by the time that Run DMC got to their third album, let's just completely skip over King of Rock altogether. The King of Rock song, of course, that was the King of Rock single. I can't even recall any other song off of that album. I got the tape. I probably listened to it about 5 times, maybe 10 times in my lifetime. So I can't really recall anything that was on there. But of course, it was dope. The King of Rock single was dope. So the album, did what it was supposed to do, sold gold, platinum, or whatever, bringing Run DMC to be one of the greatest hip-hop groups of all time. Now, so by the time they get to their third album, this is around the time I'm with my cousins and their crew. So my cousin had bought the album. So, of course, I taped it, dubbed it on a little tape, little extra tape that he had lying around his room. And now this album was crazy right from the start. See, everybody thinks that, well, it actually did go crazy once they dropped the song with Aerosmith. That's when the album went crazy. But for us in the neighborhood, like in the projects of Warren, Ohio, and the Fairview Gardens, and the Howland Homes, and the Hampshire Houses, like we were bumping that album as soon as it came out. As soon as we heard Peter Pepper picked peppers, the Run Rock Rhymes, Humpty Dumpty fell down as hits all time. Like we were on it. Like we were on that track. And then when the album got released, and on the other side of that, when they released, I think the B side of that was My Adidas, but My Adidas may have been just like their second single, and then that song with Aerosmith may have been their third single. But anyway, so when they dropped My Adidas, now, in addition to them talking about this brand of shoe, the track is just crazy. Like and then the way they come into My Adidas, walk through closet doors, and the track is crazy. DMC is rhyming crazy. Run is crazy on the track. All the poor guy paid. I rapped on stage at Live Aid. All the people prayed, and the poor guy paid. Something he said, but anyway. So My Adidas was just a crazy track, and by the time the album released, everybody that I knew had this album. Everybody either had the cassette, they either had the record, or they either had the record taped. So the album was way on its way to gold or platinum before we got to this Aerosmith junk, which the main media will have you think that just made them. No, they were made before that song dropped, and the album was crazy before that song dropped. I remember my cousin Jimmy, once again to mention him, like he loved the song Perfection. What Perfection was just basically a drummer in the studio on the drums, and they were rhyming. Now, if you listen to this track, the drum track is just crazy. He's crazy with the tom-toms and with the perfection. perfection. So, and then they're rhyming to the drum beat on the track and everything. So that was a crazy, crazy album. Raising Hell was, and just crazy, just really, really crazy. So now, on from that, on from Raising Hell, let's talk about Dana Dane. Now, Dana Dane, once again, like I said, his album, I don't even know when his album dropped because I never had it. I don't know why I never recorded it. Like, I recorded a couple of songs off of his album, which was, I didn't record this Be the Dope Beat, which that was a crazy dope record. Maybe because I had the video. I had a videotape with that on there, and I was like, okay, so I don't need that song because I can just watch the video with Herbie and Kid playing them in the video, and Dana Dane, in the smooth suit, and then the track is crazy smooth. Herbie producing it, and they're in there with their guitar, doom the doom, doom the doom, doom the doom, doom the doom doom. It's had the crazy little bass pluckings on the track, and so the track was real crazy for This Be the Dope Beat, and Clark Kent in the video, the chicks in the video dancing. That was a crazy video too, as you can tell. The video had a great influence on me. But so this album, when he dropped it, it already had like 3 singles that you already heard because they had came out 3 years previously before. The singles were Nightmares, Delancey Street, and well, those 2 for sure were out. And this album had those on there. It had a couple of other songs. It had this Be the Dope Beat, and it had a song Cinderella. See, that was the song that was really like the only song that I can remember that I taped off of the album was Cinderella Dana Dane. Now this song was crazy. I really liked the song. He's talking about how he's the stepchild, and his father and them are treating him wrong and got him cleaning up the basic Cinderella story in a rap. He as Cinderella and Herb as the fairy godmother, giving him a Kango and some bally shoes to go to the ball to meet Cinderella. And so he's like, he asks his stepfather, can he go to the battle? He's like, stepdad, may I? And before I could finish, hell no, he replied. My brothers were going, they would get down. Even Pops was going for a piece of the crown. They taunted, they haunted, they knew what I wanted. We can and you can is what they taunted. So Dana Dane, with that crazy British accent, even though, like I said, he was from Brooklyn. So he laced that album, and I think that album actually ended up selling gold. I remember reading in like Word Up magazine that he was one of really like the second solo MCs to have a gold album. Like the first solo MC to do that was LL with his record Radio. And then after him, I think Run DMC went platinum or gold before LL Cool J, but they were a group. So LL was the first soloist to go gold, and then after him, Dana Dane was the next soloist to go gold. And after that, like the gold was the standard that everybody was chasing. A lot of people didn't get it, but a gold album was like a triple platinum album. What a triple platinum album was in 1997 to like the years of 2001, that's what a gold album was back in 1987, 1988, 1993, and whatnot. So yeah, this Dana Dane's album was really crazy. I think it was called Dana Dane with Fame, or it was just Eponious. What's this word? God damn it, Eponious, but whatever. You know what? Eponious titled Dana Dane, meaning that it was self-titled of his name. It was just called Dana Dane. That was a crazy album that was blazing the streets too with those singles. And I really love Delancey Street when he's telling the story. The Chinese girl, her name Suu Chi, she's fogging up the 86 Gucci's. Talking about them chasing him down around Delancey Street and Ludlow and this and that. And you could actually do a tour. You could actually do a bus tour of all of the places like Delancey Street, Ludlow, and just on 25th, and when I'm on NA and Halsey Street, Bed-Stuy lyrics, I complete. That's a lyric by Giz, or rather Giz's partner, Milk, that he wrote. Like that's right there in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I actually lived there, so he's talking about NA, which is Nostrand Avenue, and Halsey Street is like right there which is at the bars there now that I used to frequent called the Voodoo Bars right there on NA and Halsey Street. And so that's what he was talking about in this song called Many Styles. So you could actually do a tour of all of the places that just rappers have mentioned around and in New York. Because I think about some of these places. I've been to a lot of them. Of course, 125th Street, you know, that's one of my first stomping grounds when I used to, every time I came to New York, I used to head straight to 125th Street and just walk up and down the street all day for about 6 hours and then jump in the car and drive 6 hours to go home back to get to Ohio. So, but you could actually do a tour of all of those. So, yeah, so that was one of a great significant album, and a significant MC in hip hop was Dana Dane. You know, he never really came back after that first album for a while. He made a second album and a third album, but they really didn't do too much, or really didn't do too well. But his first album really solidified him as a great, you know, solo artist, great hip hop MC in hip hop history.